Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about something really serious, and I got a death threat first time in Canada in my life. I have been in Canada for several years, and this was the first that had happened to me. I moved to this area, been living for 2 months in this new place. He wanted, as I was moving my furniture into this new room, there was this one guy. He was always sitting in front of the entrance, and he was glancing at all my things and my belongings. And he said to me, "Hey bud, you got a nice, great 55-inch TV." And then I moved my mini fridge, and then he says, "Hey bud, you got a nice unit there." And it's like, immediately back in my mind, I thought, this guy is interested in my things. So a couple of days passed, then the toxic behavior of this guy started happening. And the thing is that he hasn't seen all my cool things inside, all my gadgets inside my room, because he hasn't had access to them. And then the psycho behavior started happening inside the house when I was inside there. When I went to the kitchen, first day, he came up right next to me and he slammed the oven door right next to me, violently. And then he started drinking a new beer every 30 minutes. And then he was like, on purpose he was drinking, but I didn't understand why he was drinking on purpose. And then I realized, I told them that I'm a Muslim. And then with the recent backlashes on Muslims in Canada from Pakistan that has been happening in the last 2 months. So he began trying to pissing me off by drinking more alcohol. And then I began to see he's drinking more and more beer, and then I saw the distorted patterns in his behavior inside the house. He was being violent, he was saying slurs, he was shouting all types of things. And I didn't notice it at the time, but it worked psychologically. He slammed the door every time he came in. He used to have heavy footsteps, when he walks around. So if you're sitting in your room, you notice those things, because all the houses are made of wood in Canada. And I'm the type of person who's working on YouTube, with video scripts, thinking of the next video. And this annoying behavior of extreme, a moron, misbehaving, and the worst of all is that he shouts in the middle of the day spontaneously, saying, "It's driving me crazy," and then he would say, "Spending all money all day long." It sounds retarded, recursive, and it's so abnormal, and he sounds as if he's a homeless guy. Who thinks like that in front of me, and I'm too rich for him or something like that, for him to tolerate. See the big picture? And the worst part of it is he sits in front of the main entrance of the house, like as if he's the gatekeeper. So every time I walk out or I walk in, I have to see him, and like, that is the worst thing. And it's like, I can't even cross-dress, I can't even, I told the landlord, why is he acting so abnormal inside the house? And she said that to me. She just said, "Oh no, you deal with yourself." And there's a character in Sesame Street called Grouch. He's like that. He is exactly like Grouch. And that is what is the whole situation. And then the landlord started like distancing herself from me, and she said that, "No, I don't want to deal with this. I'm just the caretaker. I'm not the landlord." So she immediately dropped the whole topic. She said, "I don't want to deal with this." So she was taking sides, and that was the worst part. Usually you're like, what the fuck? Is it survival of the fittest here? And like, usually when you complain to the landlord, the landlord goes and talks to the both tenants, and then you settle the dispute. And he's one of those guys who he will talk to you, but at the back of his mind you can say deal, so, like I can punch or two, him back, but then assault charge will come. When the cops come, oh yeah, you guys both fight, all right, we're arresting both of you and you both will go to jail. And I can't afford to do that, I have a lot of stake here. I have to make sure, my life is going in a positive direction. I make YouTube videos. I have to think of the future. I can't just, throw my life because of some psycho toxic person, weirdo, who's behaving abnormally. So one day I decided to call my friend, and he came over, and he was sitting in my room, so he wanted to go use the toilet, so he went to use the toilet, and this guy came and exploded at me. He was like saying things like I don't even know where all this is coming from. This is where the big incident happened. He says, I want to kill you before I leave this house. I'm like, excuse me? Are you kidding me? You'll go to jail. He says, I don't care, I'll go to jail. I'm like, fuck, what kind of a person am I dealing with? And that's when I put my defenses on. Dude, I'm scared. I don't want to stay in this place for one more day, because if this guy just pulls out a knife and he stabs me, that's it, I'm done, and I don't know how it can happen. It can happen anytime, during the night, during the day, during the afternoon. So it's a very scary moment, like what the fuck, So I just dropped the thing and I called the 911. And then the cops came at 1.5 hours later, as the complaint they termed, because when they get a 911 call, they analyze how serious is the call. So they decided my call wasn't as serious as other telephone calls that they were getting. So they dispatched the officers after 1.5 hours. And then this psycho was drunk, he was crazy, he was shouting all types of insults, he was violently behaving, and heavy footsteps, slamming doors, and inside the house. And I tell you, to be honest, if the cops hadn't come, I would have packed my bags. That's how serious it was. And this is while my friend is here, it's like when you have a friend and another person is, then the other person like thinks about, but this guy was behaving anyways like that in front of me and my friend. I felt like I was saved by the Toronto OPP police officers at the end of the day for this problem. I can't elaborate how thankful I am to the Toronto OPP police service at the moment, but this is what it is, living rental property sharing roommate conditions inside Canada. If you take away all the money from the people of Canada, they will end up killing each other the next hour. That's how bad it is, the situation in this country. Only the money unites everyone in this country. That day I decided to move out of this place by the end of the month, and I gave my notice to the landlord, and out of this toxic people altogether, and not have to worry back in my mind that there's some creep watching you, and he's stalking you every minute of the day, and he's ready to whack you or inside this home. So it's like, I've got better things in my mind. I make YouTube videos. I'm a public person. I have to, think of the next video, or forget YouTube, but just in my life, I'm busy playing video games or things like that. And yeah, and he also had an issue that I used to play a lot of Xbox. He says, oh yeah, you're just a kid, you're playing Xbox. I'm like, excuse me? Even if there is a psycho person in a roommate rental condition who is living next room to you, and he has rattlesnakes, who's a devil worshipper, your obligations are to tolerate him, even if he's a devil worshipper who has 6 rattlesnakes. But this guy couldn't even tolerate one thing. So this is the end of the day. This is how you're supposed to tolerate each other. Well, I hope I have given you a dose of reality, what it's like to live in rental units, homes inside Canada. The grass is not green on the other side. It's more black concerning toxic people around you. Well, I wasn't going to make the video, but I decided to anyways. But I did it for anyone in this type of circumstances in Canada. It's not a good picture, but an ugly side of this country in every ethnicity, neighborhood, area. But yeah, I thought I should make it, and it's my responsibility to bring the big questions that are asked every day by everyone in this country. Well, I hope to see you in the next video, and